with? It's been Mental Health Week. I don't know if that was nationally around Australia or Melbourne, Victoria, but it's been on Channel 2 a lot. What do you think about the medication of, things like anxiety and depression? Seems to be these days a lot of people a lot of people are on medication to deal with these emotions. I would think that you would think that would be a bad thing to enter into taking medication to deal with emotional issues. Like a band-aid, like when you go down.
It's a case by case. You have to take each circumstance case by case. So when I heard the statistics recently, how many people in Australia? It's 23 million, I think now. I think that's the statistic. Yeah. I think Australia's 23 million. I think that's the population. 450,000 people out of the 23 million are on antidepressants. So I was quite shocked when I heard that. I was on the radio and then nearly drove the car off the road. I thought, wait a minute, I don't want to bring it back. But I was shocked, to be honest. But that just shows where society is at. Now, you have to look at each case individually, case by case. A lot of people these days, and I think this is my, just from my life experience, I would say a lot of the problems these days are coming from the food we eat. Because the food is not pure, not compared to what it was previously. And it's having an effect, and we're not just talking about like what we're eating, it's what our parents ate and what their parents ate.
It doesn't have the mineral content you need.
Yeah, and I think there's things going into the human body and then into the human brain and so forth. It just seems to me that a lot of people have chemical imbalances these days, and you may even be born with these things. So we have to take things, I think, on a case-by-case circumstance. We can't just say, everyone just stop taking these things, because for some people, to deal with their mental health issue, to have a certain amount of medicine, Western medicine or some, whatever they're prescribed, to help them be balanced. I know a lot of people in my life who are dealing with different chemical things and they're taking certain things. I see for some of them it's a good thing because it keeps them more balanced and it does help them, and they can minimize as much as they can and then like that, but it seems to be a necessary thing for them. And then for other people, it's probably not necessary. They probably once again have to go back to the root of their health and the root of their spirituality also. And if they dealt with those things, I think they would cope a lot better. So I think we could do away with a lot of it if we addressed a lot of the issues in society. But I don't think we could do away with all of it at this point in time, just because of the way the world is. And I think the main thing, and the Hare Krishna would say, there's definitely a spiritual vacuum in society. And if you feel that spiritual vacuum, then a lot of this, mental anxiety and mental illness and depression and those, they would go away, and they do go away. Because I know for myself, when I was 17, 18, I didn't go into like deep depression, but I was waking up in the morning, I was just thinking, what's life for? And if I hadn't have found, I was on a spiritual quest, and if I hadn't have found what I found, which is these teachings, maybe I would have struggled with, maybe it would have escalated into a deeper state of depression. So I think that, or we think that as a society, that if people address their spiritual life and their spiritual aspirations, then I think that would do away with a lot of it. I don't think 100% though. I think that's a little artificial. Sometimes it goes too far. People say just get rid of all of it, but I don't think for everyone that would be the best thing. But yeah, it's a huge issue in society at this point in time. People are dealing with it. So, our solution to it on the deepest level, is on the level of the soul or the spirit, is to connect with God or Krishna through the chanting, which we were doing before. I've been doing that for a number of years, more than half my life, and I find it the most efficient and most practical and deepest purifying experience, which really does solve my problems. I know that sometimes, I've got, we all have big problems in our lives, and occasionally, something big kind of mounts in my life. And I've woken up in the morning and it's like, it's really there, and it's, and then I've chanted for a couple of hours, because we do quite a lot of chanting as our discipline. So we chant for about 2 hours a day. And I've chanted for a couple, and then at the other end of the chanting, the 2 hours, deeply absorbing myself in the names of God, of Krishna, that huge problem, which I really could not perceive how I'm going to deal with it, just really shrunk into, once again, into perspective. So that's what we would recommend.